I'm Jacob.
And I'm Norma. And we just completed our kitchen renovation. We had a few really important reasons. The first one was that a lot of the kitchen wasn't functional anymore. I had 35-year-old cupboards and some of the main appliances were that old. And it just wasn't working well. And it was very outdated.
The renovation process was first we have the decision. The second was who's going to do it and budget. So luckily we managed to meet Ricardo, and he told us, I can help you from A to Z, everything. So I'll take care of everything, and you don't have to look for tradespeople, etc., etc. We went to see the showroom. We were very impressed. It was very open, answered all our questions. So we set another meeting. Then he came to here and he looked into the kitchen and he had, just wonderful, wonderful ideas how to restructure the layout of the kitchen, that it will be more functional and take advantage of our beautiful view from the window and make it a living space that you'll enjoy being there, not just cooking and running out, because it was very old and very unfriendly.
And we have other stories of people who've gone through renovations fairly recently. My parents went through it, and so we asked them, did you also have, who all did you have involved? And so they ended up having they had a project manager that they said if they hadn't had the project manager, they wouldn't have been able to get the cabinets adequately installed. They needed to have that person to make sure that the cabinets got put in properly. They ended up having a designer, for various reasons. So they ended up having like three different groups of people that they worked with. And, for me, there's so many decisions that you're making. I'm quite happy that we were just, not having to deal with so many different people. It was really helpful for us and less stressful that we were able to rely on Ricardo to work the whole overall process, and with his team. I knew that those are the two people that I just had to work with, and I didn't have to, get in the middle of all kinds of other issues. So it really did reduce the stress. And, given stories we've heard from other people, close to us who have done renovations, this has just been so much less stressful and so much more smooth than others that we've heard of recently.
The process was very efficient. We had a couple of meetings. We made a list of questions. Ricardo came here, got the view, came with very good ideas of how we can transform our kitchen from an old-fashioned kitchen to a very modern and very functional, very pragmatic approach. And we really, really liked it. And from there, the process was just a layout. What will be the schedule of the work, who is going to do each part of which professional will be involved in. And once we agreed on, and we saw some of the examples, we were very happy with the approach, and we decided to go ahead.
So a big part of the process of the renovation and how we felt about it was just to try and deal with the restrictions that we had that Ricardo was going to have to work with. And the main thing was that we didn't want to change any of the basic walls or structure of the kitchen. So given the unusual size and dimensions of it, Ricardo was able to come up with a very functional and beautiful design for the kitchen, which we loved as soon as we saw it. And when we showed it to our parents, who had just done a wonderful renovation, they also fell in love with it. So we had a great feeling off the bat that we were going to have a really great transformation of our kitchen. And then from there, it was working on the details, as any renovation would, exactly what is going to go where, what are the dimensions going to be, etc. So there's it was an interesting process to go through where you have a basic idea and then have to really work on the details and flesh out exactly what you want. So it can be a real uphill and downhill where you get excited about an idea and then you might run into a problem. And one thing that we found working with Ricardo and his team was that when these inevitable issues came up, we always were able to work with them and they had ideas and suggestions to solve the problem. So it was a very collaborative process that helped us to get through the really stressful parts of something that maybe we didn't understand or expect, and we were able to work with Ricardo and his team to come up with a wonderful overall design that we were very, very happy with.
Supervising was, I think, easy because we were in constant communication. The subcontractor was amazing, very responsible. All his tradespeople were A1. Really, I can't think of better team to work with. And we had an example, the floor was it's a beautiful old floor, and the wooden floor, and we couldn't find pieces that will meet, that were missing because of the old kitchen that were taken out, and there were lots of missing pieces. They said, don't worry, they brought guys that they made it just like exactly part of the old one, it's just amazing. So everyone was the best tradespeople that I could think of. And Ricardo was like the conductor. He made sure that everybody comes on time, everybody will do what they said they will do. If we had any questions or any comments or any things that we were not sure, he encouraged us to show us on time, and it was taken care immediately. So it was a really easy process. The communication was flowing all the time, and the tradespeople were just outstanding. So we had no issues whatsoever. The process was so smooth and so satisfactory that, the stress-free, what can I say? It was...
Yeah, but I think given all that, I think it's important, I just try and think of it from the point of view of Ricardo and Daniel and Ryan and his team. They do need the homeowners to be involved as well, because there's just a lot of small decisions and things that need to be made. And I think that if the homeowners, as well as the Ricardo and whoever the contractors are, if everyone's communicating and working well, then you have a minimum of surprises and a minimum of issues that can't be solved, pretty easily. If the homeowners just, I think, sit back and expect everything to just appear, then there's going to be some unpleasant surprises. So I think for it to work out best for everybody and have the least amount of stress on both sides, I think it's got to be just a good communication, and everybody has to stay involved. I think that's the best way, personally. It's worked out very well for all the family. This is the way we like to live in our kitchen for all of us.
It's the main place that the family meets, and they spend some time together. And it's such a pleasure now to be in the kitchen. It is add another dimension to the quality of life.